blooming enthusiasm, a warm welcome and a very good evening to Head of
Blooming
the IC
enthusiasm, a
Department,
warm
Dr.
welcome
Sangita
and a very
Chaudhary
good
ma'am,
evening
and Head
to
of
Head
the
of
IT
the
Department,
enthusiasm,
Dr.
a
Pallavi
warm
Chandra, Dr.
welcome
Sangita
and a
Chaudhary,
very
I am
good
Atharva
evening.
Shinde, Junior Publicity Chief at RAIT ACM, and I will be your host for today. Let me introduce you to RAIT ACM Student Chapter, one among the esteemed international ACM organization which is committed to imparting knowledge, innovation, and opportunities in the computing kingdom. Our mission is to encourage, support, celebrate, as well as advocate excellence in technology and computing for all members. Today's session by Mr. Mohit Bhat is all-in-one guide to GSoC 2025. Google Summer of Code 2025 is an annual program that offers stipends to university students for working on open source projects during the summer. It connects students with open source organizations, fostering collaboration and skill development. Participants gain real-world experience in coding, project management, and community interaction. GSoC 2025 promises an exciting opportunities for students to contribute to impactful open source projects while enhancing their technical expertise. I am delighted to welcome you all to this one-of-a-kind interactive session to pace ourselves for GSoC 2025. Today, we are deeply honored to have with us Mr. Mohit Bhat, who is passionate software developer with a strong focus on blockchain and full stack development. With years of experience in his field, Mr. Mohit Bhat has worked with several organizations and is an ardent supporter of open source development. He is currently the full-stack Web3 engineer at Fleek Network. Mr. Mohit Bhat is also currently serving as a project admin and mentor at ScoreLab org in Google Summer of Code, showcasing his leadership skills for helping others. His achievements are numerous, including being part of prestigious programs like Google Summer of Code, Summer of Bitcoin, GitHub Externship, and Ethereum India Fellowship. He has won over 30 plus national and international hackathons, including ETH Tokyo, ETH India, and Smart India Hackathon, demonstrating his exceptional talent and expertise. Mr. Mohit Bhat, we are truly fortunate to have you with us today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Arthav, and uh, glad to be here. Uh, it's a pleasure, talking to the RAIT college and all the participants here. So, yeah, let me share my screen. Actually, I'm not allowed to share my screen. Can you grant me the permission, please? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, hey everyone. Thanks to Arthur for a great introduction. And before starting, of course, he has introduced me, but I would just like to give a very quick, short introduction of me again. So I'm currently a full stack Web3 engineer at Fleek Network, and I'm a project admin and mentor at GSoC for ScoreLab C2SI organization. Initially, it was called as ScoreLab. Now the name has changed to C2SI. And in past, I have been a participant and enthusiast like you who wanted to be a GSoC participant, and I have contributed to a lot of projects there. I have also participated in Summer of Bitcoin, GitHub externship, and of course, I'm a lover of hackathons. So for a like for a long time, I have been participating in hackathons. So today we will discuss all about open source and Google Summer of Code. Google Summer of Code is nothing; it's just an open source program. If you have any questions apart from Google Summer of Code or open source, you want to know about the hackathons or anything, I would love to help you in that as well once we complete the session. So before starting, I would like to know the audience here, can everyone just put in the chats from which year of college they are? Are you from first year, second year, third year? And yeah, okay, first year. Second year, third year, nice. This is great. Like I can see students from almost all the years present here. Awesome, awesome. Third year students. Yeah, I think those students who have just started the third year or in the third year, they would like have a lot of benefit because they have already done a lot of coding and then they can apply it in the GSoC. And to the students who are like in first and second year, you have like it's the best time for you to learn about the GSoC because you have next 4 years easily to like at least try as many as times to do this. So yeah, okay, this is nice. So let's get started with the session. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So let's understand first of all why open source. I have crossed out GSoC here because GSoC is just a part of open source programs. Okay, it's just a way. It's a program by Google which has just been introduced to uh, bring people to the open source field. But it's very important for us to understand what exactly open source is. This is for all the students, like first, second, third year. People just know open source from they have heard like okay there is a GSoC program or there is an MLH program, but they don't know what exactly the open source thing is. So let's first understand what is the benefit of being an open source developer or being contributing to open source field and what exactly the open source field means. So I think you all have been using a lot of softwares, right? You probably would have been using your PCs, and your PCs come with, I think, operating systems, right? And some of you might be like working on a Windows operating system. Some would be working on like a Linux operating system. But the fact here is like if you go on a shop and buy a computer, and if you ask that person, the shopkeeper, that I want a computer with Windows operating system, he will say, okay, the price is 1 lakh. And if you ask that shopkeeper, like, I don't want Windows software, I want an Linux software, he will just give it to you for 90,000. Why it is so? For Windows software, you had to pay like 10,000 more. And from another operating system, which is actually a great operating system like Linux, you don't have to pay anything. And here comes the concept of open source thing. You would all say that Linux is free, sir, right? You will say Linux is a free software. That's why he's not asking us the money. And in similar way, you might have used a lot of software that are present in the market for which you don't have to pay. But at the same time, there are a lot of softwares, there are a lot of tools present, like the Windows or like a video editing software or like a social media or anything else, which for which you have to pay money. The reason for this is like that particular paid software is owned by an organization, and the organization have developers, they are paying their engineers, and they like charge you for using the software that they have developed. But at the same time, there are softwares which are developed by people all around the world. The people like you, the students like you, which are in college, or the people around the world who are engineers, but they are just contributing to some software. They are just developing some software which is for the community, which is just for like free for everyone because they love building things and they want to contribute to some free things around the world. Not everything should be paid, and that is what is called as open source development. Open source development means out of your will you have made a software, you have open sources code base. So you cannot see the code base of Windows operating system, but you can see the source code of Linux operating system, right? So Microsoft has that Windows, all the code that they have of Windows, they have kept it in their GitHub organization private. Only the engineers working there can access it, can contribute to it, can modify it, and can do anything. But if you have like seen the Linux software, right? The Linux software is present in the market on the GitHub organization. You can actually clone it, you can modify it, you can do anything, and there it would be a license present in the repository, which will be written like it has an open source license. Open source license means it's free, You don't have to pay for that particular uh, code base. You can copy the code, you can modify it and can create a new operating system out of it. You can do anything with that code. You are not liable, you are not liable to pay, you are not liable for like any copyright infringements and everything, because no one actually controls that software. It is, if you go on that particular GitHub organization, you will see like people around the world, students. I have seen a lot of students and a lot of people who actually participate in Google Summer of Code. They are contributing to the Linux thing. So nobody actually pays those people who are actually contributing to it. And this is what actually open source means. So you might ask me like, uh, I said like, they don't pay to the developers who contribute to the Linux thing. Actually, that is not the case. Okay, it's not always the case, I would say. A lot of free software, when you like contribute to those free software code bases, you don't get directly paid. But nowadays a lot of programs are there, and sometimes these there are like foundations built around these open source projects. A foundation is like a group of people who just take care, I would say, maintainers. Like I am also a maintainer of some of the projects in the GSoC uh, organization that we have. So I'm the maintainer. The maintainers, and maintainer is not just only one person. The maintainers are a group of people, okay, like 4 or 5 people who just see, okay, everything is going good, who actually like create issues, help with like merging the pull request, merging the code, checking the code that people around the world are making. So these are just maintainers. They don't have any control over the code, they don't have anything. It's just for like looking after those things. And sometimes people pay these foundations or the organizations with a lot of money, and then these organizations basically sometimes pay to the developers who are basically contributing to it. But open source not always means that you will get paid. Open source is has been started like building with the mindset of contributing uh, to the free software industry. Okay, to build tools, to build softwares which are free for everyone. But there are, apart from like monetary benefits, which has been like growing since last 10 years, like I would say today there are a lot of monetary benefits as well if you are contributing in open source thing. But apart from these monetary benefits, or not having these monetary benefits, there are other benefits as well, and that is what I have written here. First of all, you are building for the community. So what I mean by this, so like if you have contributed to Linux code base, or if you have contributed to some of the projects of Microsoft open source projects, I mean Microsoft also has some open source projects. If you have contributed to some other operating system, or like Web3 projects or any kind of projects, the people actually get to know you. Okay, this person has contributed to the Linux piece, he knows about everything about Linux. Okay, he has like fixed a very critical bug in the open source software, the operating system, the Linux. He has fixed a very critical bug in this. So by this, you are actually just sitting at home, you can actually build a network around you. So when I started contributing to the open source field, people started to getting to know me. Okay, so he said, okay, this person has contributed to this, he developed this software. And I have seen a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, who basically like created projects and made it open source. So that is another way. So let's say you found an issue with something you were working on. Now what you will do, you like created a script for it, or you created some tool which helps in like developing that thing. So now what you will do, you just make a GitHub repo, make it open source, and just tell the world on LinkedIn and Twitter that this is something I have built. Okay, this is the AI model I have built, this is the Web3 project that I have built which can help you with this, and this is open source, everyone can contribute or can use it. And now because of this, when people start to getting to when they use that product, and when they like use it, I have seen my friends projects being used by 1 million people. Okay, 1 million people actually like used a library that he has developed on JavaScript. Somebody has built, one of my friend, on Python. I personally built on one of the libraries in the Web3 industry on a blockchain actually. So a lot of people were using it, and then they were reaching out to me on Twitter and GitHub. Your project is nice, and they started contributing to it automatically. I didn't ask them to contribute. They raised issues like there is a bug in here, and then they just solved it, and then they just basically raised the pull request for it. So in this way, when you start building the projects for the community and a lot of people start using it, they will get to know you, you will get a network, and sometimes it opens an opportunity for a lot of jobs as well. Okay, so people can just reach out to you. Let's say you are like that's like the third point in my presentation, like lots of hiring on open source contribution basis. So if you are contributing to the Microsoft open source stuff and maybe some other thing, or Linux Foundation, they will reach out to you. Okay, can you work with us full time? And I have personally seen all of this happening. I'm not just saying it in uh, like it has not been happened, or I'm just making the words. No, it has happened to me personally. It has happened to a lot of friends in my circle, which keep contributing to the open source projects, and they like got an email like, we really liked your uh, project that you have done, and the contributions that they have made to the project, and they got like seriously very high paying jobs very quickly because they were already well versed with the code base that they have. So you might have heard about like people contributing to some Zomato projects or some other kind of like companies project, and they got like an email or a call from HR that we would like to hire you. You will find an ample of examples in the market on the LinkedIn, which have shown like if you are contributing to the open source, you will definitely get a lot of benefits out of it. And sometimes it's just a personal will as well. Like, oh, this is a great piece of software, I want to be a contributor in this. So all software engineers should have this mindset and should have this goal. Okay, this is a great piece of software which is used by so many people, like 10 lakh people are using it, 1 crore people are using it. I want to be listed as a contributor to it. And these projects actually list all the contributors on the GitHub repo. So it just out of a will, a lot of people actually contribute. Okay, so that their name also gets registered, and they can say like they have contributed something great. But this doesn't mean like you just contribute readme files. Okay, you just change some documentation thing in the projects. And we have seen in the past like a lot of students doing this after like getting to know about the open source contribution and all of this stuff. What they do, they just go on the projects, they just fix a line in the documentation, and they say, okay, we did a open source contribution. Don't do that, because of course that's also a open source contribution, but sometimes if you do like some lame kind of contributions, just one liners or something, uh, people may get offended, and sometimes they ban you as well, and sometimes it just spreads out in the network as well. Like maybe some person can comment out, okay, this person has done some lame kind of contributions. If you want to improve the documentation, improve the whole documentation. It's not always about you have to just contribute the code. It's also about like documentation thing and other aspects of the projects. So that is like two of the main reasons I would say. Like a lots of hiring happens if you are a GSoC participant, if you are an MLH participant, a lot of contributions, a lot of companies will shortlist your resume. I will talk about the GSoC specifically in some time, but yeah. And the third point is like it's a great way to build portfolio as well. A lot of students reach out to me, first year ones and second year ones, like we have learned JavaScript, we have learned Python, but we don't know what kind of projects to build. Of course, you have semester projects, but apart from that, if you want to build something and you are not getting ideas, or you are not actually getting the idea of how to build a particular application, it is always great to just go on the open source projects and see how they have like built the project. That is also a good source of uh, I would say a good source of acquiring a knowledge of building good applications or writing a good code. So if sometimes I have to see like I have learned a new framework and I want to see how the industries uh, like structure the code or write the code there or what they do in their code base, so I just go on GitHub, search about few projects in that framework, let's say React, and see how they have built that React project. And it just gives me some good idea as well, like how to write a better code, how to write better kind of applications, because that's an industry standard and a lot of people around the world are actually maintaining it. So you will get a good idea how to write the good code. And also like if you just like that project, just start contributing to it. And it's not always like you have to go on Microsoft projects, you have to go on Google's projects or Linux. No, there are a lot of college level projects as well. A lot of your friends in other colleges might have put a lot of projects on the GitHub. And if you are in first year or second year and just started with the particular language or a particular framework, you can just go on that those kind of projects initially and start contributing to their product. If somebody has built a website, let's say for a resume, you might find a lot of projects like that. So just contribute and make it more better. So now he got a contributor to it and you are contributing to someone's other project, and you will actually learn okay how to do that. So that is like the initial steps if you are in first year and you have just started learning uh, uh, about open source contribution and you have just started learning about a particular framework. It's a good way to start. And then you might find like a lot of college level open source program as well. GSoC should not be, I would say, the first step for you. If you are just totally new, the college level open source programs are also great. I have heard about Winter of Code or some other kind of Girl Script Summer of Code, then Social Winter of Code, a lot of such kind of college level programs. Maybe the ACM of this college can start an Summer of Code or something. So these kind of programs can be initiated, and already they are initiated in India across a lot of colleges. So you can just start participating in that. And I have personally done this when I was in my college. So I didn't go into the GSoC directly in the first year itself. So in first year I got to know about GSoC, okay, just like searching about it. And then what I did is like I saw like okay, what kind of projects are there. I was also not knowing everything. You are getting to know everything about GSoC in the first year itself, and like in the in-depth details are there. But at that time there were not much resources. It was just like YouTube and some of the medium articles present on the internet. So I just got some vague idea of okay, this is GSoC and everything. And then when I saw the projects, I like found out like I don't have that much of knowledge. They were asking like C++, JavaScript and everything. I just started the college at that time. So I thought I will definitely participate in GSoC by second year and third year, but I think this is not the right time. But what I did, I found out like a lot of open source programs are going on in other kind of colleges and everything, like Winter of Code. And at that time there were I don't remember the name, it's on my LinkedIn, but there was one um, another open source program which was very nice, like college level only. So I just participated in that, and from that college level open source program, I got the idea of okay, how exactly all this works. Okay, because there I did like some contributions. I had to make the GitHub contribution, I had to merge the code. So from that I got the idea about this everything. Then I participated in 4 and 5 more open source programs, college level program. And then by the second year and third year, I thought okay, I'm ready with open source things, I know what it is, I know what are the projects. I know all the JavaScript things and everything, and then I just participated, and of course, like I was able to get into it. So this is like I would recommend you also to do it. But if you are like strong enough in any of the languages, I think in the first year itself you can try to like participate in the GSoC, and a lot of students have like went into the GSoC and similar kind of programs in the first year itself. So it's definitely doable. But if you have some doubts or you are just starting it, no issues. If you are in first year, go in second and third year. And of course the second and third year ones can just uh, try their best to do it. I will give some tips as well, like the inner tips. So just be with me. The fourth point is like the networking and grants. So like in why you should contribute to the open source thing. So what I mean by networking and grants, I think I have already covered the networking part. But this grants thing is like I would say very much like I would say proficient in the Web3 world. Okay, so what I mean by grants, so you might have heard about like GitHub, like funding a lot of maintainers of open source projects. So it is called as like open source contributor program, where they fund the people in similar way in Web3, because Web3 blockchain is like decentralized kind of thing, and I personally come from that space. So in blockchain space specifically, uh, all of these blockchains and all of these a lot of projects provide grants to open source developers. And in Web3 specifically, they have developed a lot of, I would say, platforms for open source contributions. Okay, here in Web2, it's like GSoC and these kind of programs, and then by willingly you want to participate, that is one way. And sometimes if you willingly participate, they will reach out to you and get you. But in Web3, they have built the platform itself, like where you just have to go. There are projects listed, there are issues listed. You contribute to it, you will automatically get paid in cryptocurrencies. So that is in Web3, like you get a platform to contribute. And then also if you have a great project that you have been contributing to, or you have your own project, so these blockchains actually provide you grants which is like worth of 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs of open source grants to fund your project. So one of my so the library that I have built for IPFS, I got a grant of $5,000 for it from the Filecoin community. So it was like around 4 5 lakh rupees. Because I had developed that, I went. They had like a, a website where I had to apply. It was not like I have to fill a very big application. It was just what I have built, what kind of library I have built, is it like very good or not. And I just filled all of these information, and just they said we really liked your project. It is very beneficial for the Filecoin community, and they gave me the $5,000 grant. In similar way, you can also do it if you are interested in blockchain, if you are interested in Web3 specifically. You can start learning it and then start working on the blockchains and contribute to them. And these blockchains actually will hire you. In Web3, 99% of the things are open source, and 99% of the hiring happens from open source contribution, because Web3 means decentralization. So blockchain field is like by default, I would say, by I mean like inherently is like an open source field. In Web2, 50% is open source, 50% is paid. So that's why there are like organizations and everything there. But in Web3, almost 99% of the things are like free and open source. So uh, if you want to have a career as an open source developer who just like freelancer, or open source developer is actually more than freelancer. But if you want to be a person who just want to be an open source developer, you have a great I would say, career. You can have a great career in the Web3 field. But of course, Web2 also has this thing, okay? And Web3 also has like this term of open source developer, those people who just keep contributing to the open source projects, and the foundation keeps paying them. And the pay is not like very small. Pay is like around 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs, sometimes 1 crore, 2 crore. The more you contribute, the more money you will get. So that is also one field that you can choose. And of course, it's like challenging and exciting and a great way to like boost your knowledge whenever like uh, you contribute to these kind of projects. You will actually learn a lot. Okay, it's more than what you will learn in your college or what you are learning with semester projects and everything, because you work on actual code bases which are being used by millions of people, or at least not millions of people, at least 100 people. So you have the consumer base, you have the people using it, and you will get the real time feedback. So I would always suggest, like in your 4 years of college, you must build an at least one open source project, and try a project which at least like 1000 people use it. If you are able to do it, it will like make your resume very nice. And I think it will just boost your knowledge, boost your career aspects very heavily. So let's get now into like GSoC. I think a lot of you are like waiting for this. So what exactly is GSoC? Okay, GSoC is basically Google's summer of code. It's a program by Google. A lot of people get confused how this whole works. So I will just clarify it completely. So this has been running for last 20 years, this program, and it will continue to run. Okay. And what happens in Google summer of code is like the Google has this department which works on the open source projects and everything. So they introduce this program where they choose organizations around the world. Okay. Or they choose organization based on like how good the organization is, how many projects are there in those organizations. So the way they select you, in the same way they select these organizations as well. So the organizations are like Linux Foundation, or Red Hat, or other many different kinds of organizations. Most of them are technical, but some of them are non-technical as well. But it is mostly about technical stuff, and it ranges from all the fields like AR, VR, AI, cyber security, blockchain, full stack, JavaScript, Python, databases, everything. Every kind of project you will find in like GSoC, the organizations they select. So first of all, they every year they select organizations, and then they asks the participants, the students like you, to select projects. Okay, you have to select one project, and then you have to basically make a proposal. Like all of these organizations list their projects for the year. Like let's say they will say, I want to let's say there is an organization which has a chatting application. Okay, so they will list projects for this year, like we want to add a video calling functionality, we want to add an Instagram like chat this functionality, they want to add like a document sharing functionality. So they will list these different kind of projects. Okay, there can be new projects, there can be old projects, and then they ask you to create proposals for it. What I mean by proposal is basically you have to tell them in a proper document. It's not like just 2 pages document or 3 pages document. In a proper document you have to mention uh, like how you will build that functionality, maybe designs, or like the backend architecture, how you will connect the database and everything. And then you have to submit it, and then these organizations basically choose. Mostly it is like one person per project. Sometimes they choose 2 person per project, but mostly it's like one person, one project. So if that organization has like 10 projects, so they will choose 10 people. But it is not always like the Google will allow them to choose 10 people. Okay, they might list like 10 projects, but uh, the Google will assign them slots. So sometimes what happens, like you get selected from first to 10th. Okay, 10 projects were there and 10 people were selected, and one of you were like, one of them was you, but Google just assigned them like only 5 slots. So 5 slots means only 5 people can get selected. So then the organization just chooses like which are the best projects they want to work on this year, and then those 5 people will only get selected. Okay, so let's say 100 people applied, 10 were selected, but Google allowed them only to select 5 people. It is based on how good the organization is and how long that organization has been the part of GSoC. So if a very new organization is there, like which just came this year, so Google will assign them only 1 or 2 slots. But if an organization is there which is for like last 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, then they will allow them with 10, 12 projects. Okay, Google also like checks all the organizations they're working. If the organization is not good or in past the experience was not good, they just basically like reject the organization from the next year. So it is very important for you to see which project you choose and which organization you go into, and we will discuss that thing. So before like going into like how to make a good proposal, how to build how to contribute in GSoC and everything about the inner insights of GSoC, let's talk about the benefits of participating in GSoC as well. So one of the benefits personally I can tell you, like if you are from a non IIT background, nowadays it doesn't matter you are from IIT or from any other college, but if you have a GSoC thing written in your resume, so you will get an higher uh, like rate of selection in all of the uh, interviews and all of the selection that happens from the company's softwares. Okay, so GSoC has like something which can enhance your profile. So if I would say if somebody has a very good lead code profile or a very good geeks for geek profile, like I would say the competitive programming profile, at the same level, if you are into development and you have done GSoC, so it counts the same. So last year, actually for last 2 3 years, you might have seen, if you have if you monitor the LinkedIn and all of those things. So Zomato and I think the Cred was looking for people when they like listed their job posting. They said if somebody has done GSoC, they will be preferred. Okay, so that's the one of the best thing about GSoC. Of course, that should not be the goal of going into GSoC. Okay, we make everything like a competitive thing. Like, okay, I need this tag. That should not be the case when you are doing open source contributions. You should do out of your will. But of course, if you go into the GSoC, this is the one of the benefit that you will get. That is the credibility and edge in the interviews. So, and we have seen, and this is personally has happened with me as well, like when I go into the interviews, let's say my resume got selected maybe because of this and many other things, then they ask about GSoC in the rounds of interviews. And the best part is like they will talk about your GSoC project itself. And most of the GSoC projects are very good. They are very like hard to do, and not hard to do, but they are like bulky projects, whatever the projects come in the GSoC. So you get like a very good time and like a good project to talk about in your interviews. So a lot of students like fail in this aspect itself. So let's say there is a person who has done semester projects and he just built like low level projects like Twitter clone or something like that, very low level. And there is one person who did a GSoC and he did like a very good project in GSoC related to compilers or something Then when he goes to the interview, he has a very good projects to explain about, and that makes an impact, because the interviewer will see, okay, he has done like such a good job of building such a complex project, he has contributed to a complex thing, and the chances of you getting selected out of that interview is like very high as compared to somebody who has done some low level semester level project. Of course this person can do like a very good project as well like this, but of course sometimes we don't get time, or we don't have the ability to think about such big projects. So GSoC can be a way for you to have a very good project in your resume, which can open the doors for your interviews, which can open a very good discussion in the interviews. And then I already said resume selection, it helps in your resume selection. If you tell somebody I have contributed to it, you will get a very high chances of getting selected. And of course a lots of learning. Once you pass out from GSoC, I mean, once you have completed it, you can actually, if you are for 4 years, you can participate in GSoC for all the 4 years if you have the ability and time to do so. And sometimes if your work is very nice, you get promoted and invited to be a mentor as well. So that thing happened with me. I was a contributor first, they liked my work, and then they invited me as a mentor in the program. And then I worked for a mentor for 1 or 2 years. Mentors also get paid in GSoC. Okay, it, although it depends upon organization. So organization gets paid for uh, each participant, and then the organization, it's up to organization like whether they will pay the mentors and the admins or not. And I got invited as a mentor after my work, and then I introduced my own projects as well, and now I'm project admin as well for many of the projects in blockchain, AI, and cloud field. In the same way you can do that as well. Okay, if you work very nicely in the organization, you get selected to become a mentor. And sometimes they take you to the conferences. So if you check my LinkedIn, recently I shared like I went to San Francisco for a GSoC summit, and it was all paid by like the Google. This is a mentor summit actually. This is specifically a mentor summit, not a contributor summit. But sometimes these organizations invite these kind of good participants to these kind of conferences, and all the money, all the hotels and everything, the flights are booked by Google. So, and in that way you actually get to visit the new country, and you actually get to know a a lot of people across the board. So I met a lot of people there which were like building some very great things. I met all the people contributing to such great projects in the GSoC and all around the world. So you can also do the same. Okay, you have the opportunity to grab this kind of things, and these are all the benefits that you will get after GSoC. So I have now many friends across different kind of organizations that are doing amazing thing, and I like really love to like talk about technology with them and all of those things. So it really boosts your knowledge, boosts your network, and opens a lot of opportunities that can come to you. So and then of course another thing is like stipend, right? So stipend to high. You also get paid $1,500 for 3 months of the work. Initially, it was like 3,000 5, 6, 7 years back. Now it got reduced to 1,500, but 1,500 is also a very good amount with like all the certificates and everything you get. So for all those people who are like fond of money or wants money, I think everyone wants money. So uh, for them, like of course, like you will get paid for it being a contributor to the GSOC. Now let's talk about the main things: how to get selected and how actually org select students. You will not find all of this information on the internet because this is a bit of inner information, the way the organizations works. I work behind the scenes, so I'm sharing that here.
materials for protoplasmic synthesis and also as source of energy under
Uh,
nutrient deficiency conditions. The growth of the plant is negatively affected. Like the requirement of light is light to the plant for its growth called
uh, can mute.
photoperiodism. Photoperiodism. Photoperiodism it helps in synthesis of food. It also determines the root and shoot growth.
Yeah, I think that's fine. No issues. This all of these things happen. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the main aspect of how orgs select students on the basis of, okay, how organizations select the students. So top three things is based on your proposal, the first and very important aspect. Second, on the basis of number of contributions that you have done to the existing projects or to the organization. And the third is based on proof of concept. And then the last two things are like a mild case. The top three things are these three things, and the last two things are like based on your experience and your activeness in their community. But that comes later when all of these three things are good. So what I mean by based on proposal, okay, so what I mean by based on proposal, so as I have already told you that you have to create a proposal explaining how you will build that particular feature or a particular project that they have like listed. You have to explain everything, like what the, first of all you have to explain, okay, uh, what needs to be built. Then you have to talk about how you will implement that. Implementation means like I will build this system like that, and this will be my architecture. I will be using this kind of database, I will be using this thing, I will be using this kind of algorithm, I will be using this library because this is fast, or I will be building this kind of algorithm or a tool which can benefit it, and it will be fast and everything. You have to explain comprehensively like how you will implement that thing. And then you have to mention the timeline as well, like how much time it will take to complete this project, how you will like in first week what things you will do, in second week what things will you do, in third week what things will you do. And you have to tell like each week of work that you will be doing beforehand in your proposal, and that is what gets submitted to the GSoC program. And then all of these things reaches out to the GSoC admins, and they check your proposal. In this proposal, there are two main things that you have to mention. One is the contributions. What I mean by contributions, contribution means the all of these people will have like the GitHub organization, right? They have a lot of projects listed, uh, existing projects that a lot of contributors have contributed in the past year, right? So you have to go on there, you will have to find good first issues, and you have to just make some contributions, you have to raise some PRs, you have to solve some things. Why the organization do these things is we want to know like whether you really know the code that you want to contribute to. So let's say you just built a proposal, okay, using the chat GPT or everything. Nowadays chat GPT is there, so you can just build a proposal and everything. But the organization needs to see like whether you really know the code, because the code base might be very huge. So we want to know whether you really know what is present in that folder, how this whole project works, how the project has been designed. So because of that we ask for open source contributions of you before the GSoC. So we ask you to solve something. So the more the contributions you will do, the more we will be like we will know that you are very good person to, you are the right person to contribute to that project, and the chances of you getting selected is very high. And then the third is of course based on the proof of concept. Proof of concept is like sometimes needed and sometimes not. If it is an existing project, what you can do is like, if they have asked for like a video feature, you can like already do like 50% of the work, kind of proof of concept. Proof of concept means like you don't have to do a complete work or the best work. You can just do like 50% of the work and show, okay, see, I have tried to build this, and see, the video is working. This is not the perfect way, but this is like I just tried in last 7 days, and this is what how it works, so that the organization can believe, okay, you have the capability to build this. So now what happens basically, let me tell you. When we see a proposal, we see, okay, these are like great projects, these are like great proposals. And there was one project for which we received 10 proposals. We check out all the proposals, and let's say 8 of the proposals were very bad, okay, and 2 of the proposals were very nice. So we got this proposal 1, proposal 2. Now we will see who did a lot of contributions, because both of them are very good. Both of them have like very good design, both of them have like very good things. So we will see like, okay, which one has like good number of contributions. Okay, this person has done good number of contributions. It has like, now this person has the higher chances. Does this person has a proof of concept? Oh, this person has a proof of concept as well, so again higher chances. Or let's say this person has proof of concept more. So in this way we basically select. So let's say 2 proposals are there, and this person has no contributions and this person has contributions, we will select this person, although both of them had a great proposal, and we had to select only one person per project. In same way, both of them had same number of contributions or like very nice contributions. Now how we will select that? Okay, whether they have like a good proof of concept, anyone has built it, okay, this person has built it, let's choose, he has done everything. And then let's say still there is a tie. Okay, this is, I am telling you like one of the scenarios. Of course we see kind of contributions you do, we just don't check, okay, he has done 10 contributions, he has done 5 contributions. We will check like what kind of contributions you have done, what kind of quality the proof of concept has. But it's just a general idea like how the things work. If everything is same between 2 participants, we will see who has a greater experience. So that's why I always say to everyone, many people will say do not mention CGPA, do not mention your work experience, do not mention your past experience. That's not the case. It's always good to mention whatever you have, whatever the abilities you have. So we will see who has a good experience. Okay, this person has worked in industry, he has done some internships, he has no in past experience. This person has done like, he has a good CGPA as well, he's from good college. Sometimes that is like very minimal, like it affects the proposal selection, like the college or CGPA and everything. But let's say if there is like a serious tie and we have to select only one person, then these things take into the count. So that's why always mention everything, all of your experience. If you have a great CGPA, mention that. Why to not mention it? Okay, if you have bad CGPA, don't mention it, that's fine. And then of course, like the fifth point is, as I said, activeness in the community. We don't pay much attention to it, but sometimes we pay. So let's say a person was very active in the Slack channel or the Discord channel of the project, or whatever the community it is. He was asking very good questions, he has helped other people to contribute nicely, he was like commenting on the PRs, he has been doing very good work for last 1 year. I have seen some people contributing to the projects for 1 year itself, and then they get selected because they know everything, they were helping the organization for last 1 year. So we see, okay, how active this person is. And sometimes it just like that person has been contributing so much that we now know him personally as well. We have like 100% believe that he will do very good things, he has given us some good ideas. So that is what I mean by activeness. And if that is there, we already know this person is great, he has done great work, of course he will get selected. So this is how organization basically behind the scenes select the students. But as I said, your proposal is everything, you have to mention everything. It's not like you are just very active in the community and your proposal is shit. and that has been happened. And what I mean by a very shit proposal is like, if you have been tasked to do something, if you have been asked to create, let's say, this kind of blockchain or this kind of AI model, it should not be you are writing like, I will import this library and do this thing. I have personally seen such kind of things in the proposal, like where student mention like, I will be importing this library, I will be importing this library in the examples format, and I will do dot this. That is not what we want. First of all, you need to understand, most of the times when we are building such kind of open source projects, we don't want a lot of dependency on libraries, external libraries. Of course, I'm not saying you have to write each code from scratch. Wherever it is necessary, that is good thing, but not everything should be like you are just picking a bunch of libraries to make things. If I said you like you have to write a video component or something, you just brought like five libraries of video and you said I will just combine this, and that will not be fast, that will not be very nice thing to do. We want to build from at least like 50% from scratch and 50% from, maybe we can use some of the libraries or the things that are needed. And you have to explain why you are using that library. Have you researched properly that this library is good enough, or it is like really great or not? It's not like it's very hard task to do all of those things. This is just normal research. But what I have personally seen, people just write anything. Sometimes people write any kind of high level thing, like we will do this chat AI model, we will put data in that and fetch data like that. The mentors, the project admins understand all of these terms. If you will just write high level things, that the AI, we will send the data to AI and AI will return it, sorry, the proposal will get rejected. You have to explain how uh, the AI will work, how the model will work, why you have chosen that kind of model. So you have to explain everything. Like, it's not just the high level things that you need to do, right? And such kind of proposals get rejected straight away. And if you ask me what are the types of projects that you will see, which is very crucial when you are doing research and choosing a project, you will find first of all in many of the organizations some existing projects. A lot of have existing projects, so like Mozilla or many other things, many other projects are there which have like some of the tools or like the product being worked upon for last 10 years. So they just keep adding new features and improvements to it, and that is what they bring as a project in GSoC. So this is like one kind of project. Then there are second category, which is like new projects. So a lot of these open source organizations launch new projects every year. Okay, so somebody had a chat application, so they like brought a video application like that. And sometimes some organizations are there, like the organization that we are a research based organization. So we build new projects which are in demand. So we have cloud projects, we have full stack projects, we have blockchain projects. So these kind of new projects are there. Then the third is like existing project but with totally a new module. It's kind of a new project, but it is being attached to the existing thing. And then the fourth option is like you can suggest your own projects as well. It's not always what has been like put on the GSoC organization thing. If you have a very great project for that organization, you can mail them. The best way is to mail them, find out the info. I will show you how you can find out the info on the Google Summer of Code page. Just mail them like, oh, you have a very great chat application, but I think you can have a benefit by adding a feature of, let's say, document upload and this. I think this can be built like this, and just mail it. And if they really like it, they will say, okay, we really liked your idea, your solution was also great, we will list it, and probably you will get selected. So around like 10% of the thing, 10% of the projects are actually some of the projects suggested by the students itself. So if you have a great idea on that, you can suggest it and get selected in the GSoC as well. And if you ask me which is the best projects to contribute as a like uh, who is like very new to the GSoC thing, I would say uh, someone who is like in first year or second year, the new project section would be a good place, because here you don't have to understand the existing project. Here you have a chance to show your design skills, or you have to show your ideas. Okay, the new project section is actually easier because you don't have to understand a lot of things. So somebody's asked you to create a new blockchain, so you can just research about it and can create a proof of concept, and uh, you have a higher chance of getting it. Whereas if there is an existing project, and if somebody is in second and third year and he knows a particular language well, then you have a benefit of contributing to the existing project, because there you can basically contribute a lot, and uh, you have the ability to contribute to there because you already know the language and everything. And the thing is, like in new projects, proof of concept has a great impact. So if you already built 50% of the project before GSoC, you have a higher chances of getting into the GSoC, because it's a new project and they will see, okay, this person has already done like 50% of the work. Let's say you just built, they were asking for a website, okay, a very cool website with something related to AI or something, and you already built a very cool designs of it, or a cool front end of it, you have a very high chance of getting into that. But in existing project case, the thing is they want to see contributions, your contributions. They want to see your pull request in your proposal. So there, if somebody is new, it has like some more work to do there. But both of them have like the same level of chances, but this is just my personal opinion that can help you with that. And if you are I think I have already covered what is a good proposal. Okay, like as I said, explain how will you develop the project in clear manner, mention your work experience and achievements. Maybe you can take a screenshot of this. Mention any past open source experience. So as I said, contribute to some college level programs and then contribute to it, so it will show that you have a good past open source experience in the field. And then of course give a clear and real timeline. So I just want to focus on this thing because sometimes students have a great proposal, but what they do is like they just write any kind of timeline. So they will say in 1 week we will complete 20% of the work, 30% of the work. That should not be the case. Give real timelines. Think really like how you will be able to complete the things. I have seen people writing a lot of things in the proposal, like they will complete 10 15 things, okay, 10 15 features in 3 months. And what happens basically, when they get selected in the GSoC because they had mentioned a lot of things which was out of their capability to complete in 3 months. And then the problem is like when the GSoC starts, there is a mid evaluation and there is a final evaluation. So first of once you get selected, you have to work for half of the time, and then there are evaluations like whether you were able to achieve whatever you had mentioned in the timeline. Okay, and by the mid evaluations you have to specify the date when you are creating a proposal, like by the mid evaluations I will complete this much of the work, and after mid evaluation to the final evaluation I will complete this much of the work. So I have seen what people do is like they put a lot of things and then they are not able to complete it, and then the organization thinks this person is not capable, and ultimately they have to fail you because you were not able to complete your milestones and whatever you have said. And I think it is easy to not get selected, but it is very hard once you get selected and then you get failed. So that is something nobody wants. Like once you tell everyone that you went into the GSoC and then you get failed because you were not able to complete things. So that's why I'm saying do not bluff in your proposal. Okay, Do not write anything arbitrary which you are not capable of doing, because although you will get once selected, you have to complete that thing to achieve the GSoC certificate and everything. And if you are not able to do that because you just copy paste it somewhere and by any chance you went into the GSoC, you will ultimately fail. And in past years we have seen a lot of people failing. Initially it was very less 3 4 years back, but from last year we have seen students not able to cope up with all of those things. Uh, some students just say like they have got an internship, they are not able to complete because of that. Somebody had taken participation in like multiple open source program, so at the same time summer of bitcoin also runs when the GSoC is there. So we got one student in our organization which have participated in both Summer of Bitcoin and Google Summer of Code, and he got selected in both. And then ultimately, what happened? He was not able to cope up with so much of pressure because both of the open source programs are demanding and takes time. And ultimately, he got failed in the mid evaluations uh, in the uh, uh, in the GSoC. And I'm not sure what happened with him in the Summer of Bitcoin, but he was not able to do the same. And similarly, we found another person who was doing internship and GSoC at the same time, and he was not able to cope up with that, and ultimately he failed in GSoC. I have done both of those things at the same time, but it should be your capability. Or maybe you can just complete a lot of work before the GSoC starts and then maintain a timeline. But as I said, you have to maintain the things, otherwise you will fail. And failing GSoC is like sometimes it just breaks the heart of the person who is like selected in the GSoC. So please take care of these things, because we have been seeing, and Google was also like very much like serious about a lot of students getting failed in the last years. And I think this is one of the reasons, maybe because a lot of people do cheating with the help of chat gpt and everything, and then they don't have the capability and they get failed. So please mind of all of those things. So if you ask me what is like the best way to get selected, what is the best proposal, a good proposal, and this is done, uh, the thing that I am telling you is like from my personal experience, that what I did. So there are three ways. One is like very good proposal. Of course you have to explain everything in proposal, and then to get selected, this can be a good criteria. Do low contributions. Low contributions means do not make a lot of PRs, but make a very good POC. And this is what I did. I had chosen a new project kind of thing. No, it was not a new project, but it was an old project only, but a new module, new project, old project with a new module. So I contributed some of the PRs, like 3 4. Okay, and I started working on my proposal in February itself, like once the organizations had been declared. So I didn't start 1 year back. I started when the organizations were declared in February, and I submitted the proposal in like 1st April or 2nd April, something like that, in 1 month's time. So as the time was less, okay, so I just made a good proposal because I understood all of those things. I made 3 4 PRs only, 2 3 4 PRs, and then I made a very good POC. POC means I already did 50% of the work before in that 1 month time. So I just linked the GitHub repo, like, see, I have already done this much things. I already know everything, and this is some of the PRs that I have done. I mentioned it, and I was almost 75% confident that I might get selected because I had done a good amount of work. Maybe other persons might have not done it, and that is what the case was. Like when I got selected, like I had like very good POC. I have already done 50% of the work, and they were like uh, uh, very confident about me. And then the other way, if you don't want to create a good POC, okay, the other way is of course very high contributions. High contribution means make 8 9 10 PRs. Your target should be to create 8 9 10 PRs, and just create a very small POC. Okay, if you have a very high contribution, just create the POC. With some organizations POC doesn't work, so you have to please mind this thing as well. Like all the organizations are different, but most of the organization, for most of the organization this logic will apply. Okay, because I have personally researched at my time and today's time as well, like these things work. So you just make a small proof of concept but create a high contributions. And some organizations does only work on high number of contributions that you make. There is one organization called as Rocket Chat. So what they have a leaderboard. Okay, I think the leaderboard would have been started. So what they do is like people just contribute to it. Okay, and then after the once the deadline ends, they see who is on the top of the leaderboard, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and they select them as a GSoC contributor. So that is with some organizations, not with all the organizations, but this is what, if you want to contribute to Rocket Chat, you can do that thing. Just contribute and add things and add features or fix things, fix bugs, and you will get selected. And of course the last thing is like just high contributions. That is like what the example I gave you. Just make 14 15 contributions. And this actually applies to the people who have been like contributing for a good amount of time. If you have just 1 month, I would suggest like the first and the second option is a good way. Okay, if you have very less time, I think the first option is the best way. If you have some time, the second option is the best way. And if you have a lot of time, the third option is the best way. That is like in short, if I would like to say, first option very less time, second option for some amount of time if you are starting today, and the third is for like if you have 4 5 months of time. So, or maybe if you are like very intelligent, very like good with the language, you understand the things very quickly, then of course the last option is also a good way. You can just create a lot of contributions in just 1 month. So that is up to you, but for an average or a general person, this is like how the things should go. So if you ask me what is the timeline for the students, so you don't have to do anything. You just go on the Google and just write GSoC 2025. I think a lot of people already have seen this. This is GSoC 2025 timeline. So you can see currently organizations applications are open. Okay, and by February 11, the organizations will submit their projects, and on February 27th, you will get to know which organizations have been accepted. Okay, and the projects will get listed on the GSoC website. Currently, the organization's projects are not listed. It will get listed on 27th February. And then you will see like by March 24th, the contributors proposals open. So from March 24th, you can start submitting the proposals, and the deadline for that is April 8th. So by April 8th, you have to submit your proposal. And in past, we have seen people waiting for the last day. Okay, and what happens basically, they just miss the deadline and they had created a great proposal and they don't get selected. So please mind the deadlines, submit the proposals early as soon as possible, because at last time what happens, sometimes the website is not able to handle the load or something can happen. Okay, and you can actually like just upload the proposals and keep editing it until the deadline. So that is also the case, so that you don't miss it. And then you will see like uh, this is for the organizations. And then on May 7th, you will get your results. Like on May 7th, you will get to know, okay, whether you were selected or not. So in the meantime, when the results are coming, I would suggest you that you still keep contributing, because sometimes organizations see that this person has submitted a proposal but after that he just went off. Maybe he's just trying to get into the GSoC, and he doesn't have any motive of uh, participating in a long term, because organizations sometimes want students who contribute after the GSoC period end as well. Okay, they want a long term participants and not the only people who just come and do GSoC and go away. So if you are not contributing continuously, you just went totally offline, you are not active, maybe you had a chance but you will lose that chance. So I would suggest all the time keep contributing, keep thinking how you can improve, maybe start some work. Okay. And then you have like till November 19th to, not November, I actually, this for some of the project for most of the project it is like August. This is for long term projects. So this is the thing. So this is the timeline for the students this year. And if you ask me how to start, okay, if I was in place of you, how I will start contributing to the things. So first of all, make sure and just think about which programming language or technology you are like you are good with. Okay, maybe it is JavaScript, maybe it is Python, maybe it is C++. You don't have to be like master of it. What I mean by a good knowledge of a particular programming language or technologies, you just knows good amount of things in that. If I show you a project, it should not be like you are not able to understand the code base and everything. You should be able to understand most of the things. If you have done Node.js projects, you should understand Express and database management and everything, so that at least you get to understand what the project is and how it works. So then you have to analyze all the organization and the projects. Currently, as I have shown you in the timeline, the projects are not listed as of now, the projects that will be participating in this year, because the selection is going on. But the thing is, like, most of the organizations repeats. So whatever the organization were in the last year, it is like 99% of the times, 99% of the organizations repeat every year. So you can start today itself, like analyzing the organizations. Maybe they do not have a fresh projects, but at least for next 1 month, until the organizations are and their projects are like put on the website, you can start talking to them. Maybe they have projects internally listed, so you can ask them which kind of projects are there, because it's not on the GSoC website, but they will have in their channel and everything. And how you can do all of those things, let me show you. So you just have to go on summer of Google with google.com, just type on Google the GSoC thing. Okay, currently projects are not there. After like February 27, you will see the projects page here. You can click and it will go on to the projects listed. But for now, what you have to do until those things are here, just go on the past programs. And on the past programs, you will see all the programs of the last year. Okay, so you can go on like 2023, 24. So I will just go like 2024, and you will see all the organizations that were present in the last year. So these are the organizations. If you ask me where is my organization, so here it is, C2SI, the C2SI organization. So now how you will reach out to the organization, how you will find like the projects, and how you will know like where to chat with them and everything. So let's say I click on this project, this organization. So you will see there is like mailing list and forum. So this is basically their email or a Google forum. So sometimes the links doesn't work. Okay, they are the old links, or the links have been removed in the past years or something. But most of the time these work. So there is like X, like the Twitter, or there is, this is chat. A lot of organization will have this, or sometimes you have to just search on the internet, because sometimes they don't list it. This happens only with some of the organizations, but a lot of organizations mention all of these things on their website, GSoC project page, for the past years and for the new years. When the new projects will get listed, the same kind of page will be there as well. Okay, it's the same thing. Currently we are viewing the past projects. So you can just click on the chat, and okay, so this is on Slack, so just join the the Slack channel of it. We also have a Slack channel for the GSoC. Some organization have like metrics channel, someone has Gitter, someone has Discord, someone has something else. So it depends. It is not like same for everyone. So you have to go on the project page and see where their chat channel is. So you just sign in with Google and you will get added to the Slack channel and just start talking to them. In same way, you can email it. If you have any questions, you can just open the email. Okay, and uh, then if you want to see what are the projects, in the same way a button will be there for this year as well once it gets live. But you can see like the past projects, so that you can start contributing to the existing projects to show your contribution. Or when the projects get listed, you can start thinking about it or doing the code stuff. So you can see these are the past projects, and if you click on view code, so it will redirect you to the GitHub. Or it's not the GitHub, I mean this is their blog. Probably there would be like a GitHub channel here, so you can see this. They have written everything about what has been done in 2024, what they have added. Okay, if you really like this project, see such kind of things that you have to put in proposal as well, like how you will build these things and everything. So you can see here you found the GitHub repository. So for a lot of organizations, you will find this GitHub repository and everything very directly, but sometimes you have to do a bit of research for some of the organizations. So you can see this is the Envoy car project and organization. This is the GSoC organization that Envoy car has, and you can see all the projects listed here. You found the GitHub repo. So this is, you can see in Python. So just go on it. Here are the issues. Okay, I think this is a very old repo. Maybe you can just see like the recent one. Okay, so I think this is again a bit old one, but maybe if you want to continue this project, then you can contribute to it. So you can see a lot of issues are there, and you can see some GSoC listed issues as well. Maybe they would be like listing this project this year as well, because GSoC tag is there. So here are the issues they have created, the bugs and everything. So you just go on the bugs and just read about what they want, and then raise a pull request. And once you raise a pull request, of course they will merge it, and that counts as a contribution to your proposal. So in this way, let's say if you go on like some other organization as well, which is like AOIC, it has like blockchain and other projects. You can see only chat and X is there. So you just click on the chat, and this is on Discord. You can see, right? This is on Discord, and here are like the projects it has. Okay, you can view the project details, or maybe you can just go on. You can see this contributor had contributed to open peer chat. You can just go on the code, so it directly opened in the GitHub. It depends upon organization to organization how they have put it. So you can see what is the project's description here, what has been done, and if you want to contribute to it this year, you have ideas on it, start solving the issue. So you can see good first issue. Good first issue is like someone who is like new to this project. This is can be a good first issue. So you have to always find this kind of tag in all the projects, because organization adds this good first issue tags for contributors like you, who are very new to the GSoC or to the repository. So you just have to go on this, read about what he wants, read comments, and then go on the pull request and just raise a PR. So that is how like you basically do it. If you ask about my organization, so I will show you. Our organization has a website which has listed everything. So this is our like everything that is present here. If you go on the C2SI organization, you will find out there's GSoC 24. Currently, GSoC 25 projects will be listed in few days. So this will change to GSoC 25, where all the projects, uh, where all the projects of GSoC 25 will be listed. Currently, we are creating that, and then a page like this will be there. So this is like the same with many organizations. So idea list for 2024, there will be an idea list for 2025 as well, and many of these projects will repeat. Okay, repeat, I mean it will be extended with new things. So you can just read about it, what it needs, what are the required knowledge. So here you can see the required knowledge is Python, large language models, Hugging Face, uh, then like all of those things. So this is Rust Cloud, and what are the expected results and everything. In same way, there is like NFT toolbox project that I am mentoring. So you can see like what kind of required knowledge you need, like solidity or everything. So you just go on the GitHub URL and start solving the issues and start contributing to it, start making a POC and a proposal, and get ready for it. This is how you have to go through all of those things, analyze all the organizations and projects. Okay, there is like when a nice good tool is given by the Google itself. So if you are interested in web development, just select that and you will find web. Okay, so these are all the projects with web thing. Sometimes this filter is not great, so I would suggest you to go through, just take out 1 or 2 day of time. Okay, just take, I had done that when I participated in GSoC. I just gave two three 2 3 days to just go through each organization, see all the projects that it has, and select like, okay, this is my top priority, I really like this, I have very high uh, knowledge for this project. And then I chose like top 3 projects, and that is what I have said here as well. Narrow down your selection to max 3 5 projects that you really like, or you really have knowledge of it, or you are really confident about it. And then just out of those 3 and 5, just select the 1 and 2, the topmost, and start contributing and understanding it. Okay, and just give ample time to the proposal. You can actually submit 3 proposals for like 3 different organizations, 3 different projects, I mean 3 proposals. But I would suggest you not to do that, because making a proposal and everything takes time. And we also see like how many organizations you have applied. So it is always good, if you are like not very confident, just submit maximum 2 proposals. But if you are very confident, you want just try, just submit only 1 proposal with full strength. That is what I would say. I had submitted only 1 proposal with all my focus, and I think that was a good option as well. So I have already talked about how to reach out to organizations, reach out on Slack channels and everything that they have listed on GSoC. Just go on there, search organization, and search the chat thing. So at last, I would just talk about some of the tips and do's and don'ts. I have actually already covered it, but just reiterating over it. We are not here to crack anything GSoC. Okay, it's not an IIT JEE. Do not make it very competitive. In India, it has been become very competitive. Everyone wants to bid because somebody has told like it gives you this, it gives you that. Of course, competitiveness is great, but take it as a learning. If I was not selected in GSoC, I would have still learned a lot of things, because I had contributed to a very powerful code base at that time. I actually worked on compilers, on cloud, on compilers, and if I would have not been selected, I would have gained a lot of knowledge. So do not make it everything. Projects and code bases may feel difficult in starting, but just be this guy. Okay, so this is like hum bhi bana lenge. And what I have seen personally is like a lot of students fail in the initial 7 to 8 days itself, when they just come up with full strength, full power, like I will go into the GSoC, I will create a good proposal. Okay, now what will happen when they will see the project, and when they will see the code? Oh my god, this code looks so big, I am not able to understand it. Oh my god, this is my not a cup of tea, and they just leave it in just 1 or 2 days. Don't do that. That was happening with me as well. When I saw the compiler code base, the TypeScript and everything, I was not able to understand, like, and I was thinking no. But what I did, I just kept on seeing it again and again. Okay, this folder is there, okay, it is working like this. There are like some good flow diagrams as well written. I actually just saw, okay, he's using this library, he has done this thing. So I just searched about it on the internet, I searched on the YouTube what that library does, and slowly within 7 to 8 days I was able to understand the code base. And let me tell you, once you understand the code base, okay, once you understand how what folder contains what thing, and how this a little idea about how the project works, after that it is an easy thing for you. The initial first 4 5 days it's a bit hard, and maybe 7 to 8 days was for me. Maybe for someone who is very like smart, he might be able to understand in 1 or 2 days itself, or 3 days. Or someone who is not very smart, he might take 10 days or 15 days to understand. That's totally fine with that. It depends upon how much knowledge you have in that language. Okay, if somebody is very good with TypeScript, he will understand things very quickly in TypeScript. But if somebody is just starting with the TypeScript, he will understand a bit slow. But everyone will understand. That is, I'm telling you from my personal experience. It just, you have to stick for some time to the code base for understanding that code base, and after that it will be an easy task. And that's why a lot of people say like start early. Okay, some people say start from January, some people start from 1 year back, because they take time to understand. So if you have 1 year, so you can easily slowly understand the projects. But it is totally fine. I started in February, you also can start in February itself. You have a good amount of time for now, and I think I had the same kind of time to participate in the GSoC. Don't bluff in your proposal, or don't just write anything. I think I have already covered this. As I said, you will fail in the GSoC. That is the second thing. uh, uh, I think one of the don'ts that I have written here. Don't bluff in your proposal, don't write just anything, you will fail. I have seen people failing, and that's more bad than not getting selected. So do not use chat gpt in everything. Maybe use chat gpt now. Nowadays you have AI assistants and everything which can help you to understand code very quickly. You can tell it, okay, how this code works or what it is doing. But don't just create proposals using chat gpt, because ultimately you have to work, you have to talk to the mentor, you have to um, work collaboratively with the other contributors in the GSoC. And if somebody finds you not knowing anything and just copy paste doing anything, you will fail. Don't try new stack or language. You may fail, even you may fail or even not apply. This has been, I have seen this happening with a lot of students. Just say ये मेरा expertise नहीं है, so I am out. This is not true. If you are starting 1 year back, or you have a good amount of time, or you are a smart person. But if you are a normal person, uh, don't do this like you have not done anything in Java and you are picking a Java project. Because you have to first understand Java, then you have to understand the code base, and then you have to know how the things work, and then you will be able to create a proposal. And I think I have seen students doing this because they saw a project which had which had less participants, but he didn't know anything about that, he didn't know anything about AI, and he just started working on it, and ultimately he was not able to understand anything because he had not done anything before. But if you have time, let's say January or December, you can start with totally new stack or language. Give 1 month of time to understand that language, and then the projects. But doing this today or like in next 1 month, I would not say don't do that. If you know JavaScript, find JavaScript projects. If you know cloud things, just do only those things which you are good with. At least you have done something before, so that it can help you in creating the proposals better. Last but not the least, all our organizations are different and have different criteria of selection. Okay, I have almost told the things from the general aspect as I have seen across all the organizations, but it is always better just to go on the organization Slack channel or Discord channel or everything and understand what is going on there, what they want. Just see what people are chatting there, just see their GitHub org, just see their guidelines for proposal, so that you make the proposal very nicely according to the organization needs. This is a general thing and it will work across all the organizations, but sometimes specific organizations have specific rules, and that thing can only be like explained to you when you just research about it more. So do your own research as well. Okay, just not go on like YouTube or anything and I have told you something and you do it. This is a general idea, but do your own research for a better and best proposal. Don't watch too much roadmap or YouTube videos of GSoC. I think I have given you almost all the insights from every side. Just don't uh, read a lot of articles. What will happen, like someone will say something else, and another YouTube channel will say something else, and then you will get confused because they may have contributed to some other organization and something else. So it might confuse you. So don't have to do it. Just now your next task is go on the GSoC page, find the organizations, find the best project that suits you, and just start contributing to it. And I have already covered you can fail during the coding period, so choose project year wisely. I think I don't have to repeat this. And the tip to success is analyze yourself, find right project, and apply in right organization. Sometimes student is very good with an language or a framework or a technology, but he just applied to a wrong organization or a wrong project because a lot of people were applying and they had to select only one. I have already told this thing that maybe the organization wants to select you, but GSoC only allotted 5 slots, so you will be like discarded at that point of time. You were selected, but they didn't get the slot, so you might not get selected. Sometimes these organizations, what they do, if they really like you, they will just pay you from their pockets and will invite you like uh, outside of the GSoC program. But as I said, it's better like you apply the right org. I have seen sometimes some organization have projects where no contributor is there. So if you apply to those projects, you have a very higher chances because there is no one fighting for that project. There is no one competing in that. And when there is like another project which have like hundreds of people trying to get into, so just as I said, find the right project for you and apply in the right org. Competition is high, but that's the only problem with GSoC, I would say nowadays. Uh, it's just a lot of people applying to it, but it's not. But there is another aspect that 90% of the people just fail before starting itself. As I said, they will see a lot of code in the GitHub and they will just say, okay, no, I'm not applying. So only 10% just step up. So you should be that person. You should be one of those 10% who actually just try till end. I have seen those people who just try till end, they get into the GSoC. You just have to focus, and it's actually like easy. When I see GSoC from all the aspects, it's not very difficult. And once you get into the GSoC, you will find it's not very difficult to apply. And at the last, I would say GSoC is not everything. Okay, but do try. As a student, you should definitely at least apply once. Okay, or I would say apply all the times 4 years, because it will help you to learn how to work on a big code base. It will help you to learn uh, a lot of things. Maybe you will not get selected, but you will still learn during the contribution phase itself. You will learn how to make good proposals, how to think out of the box, how to contribute things, how to make contributions, how to make POCs. So it will teach you a lot of things. And if you ask me some other open source programs and opportunities apart from GSoC, because open source is a big field, GSoC is just one program out of it. So here is a list. Do apply to these things. Google Summer of Code, already we have talked. There is Outreachy. This is for girls, specifically girls and non-binaries. The stipend in Outreach is actually more. It's like $6,000, $5,000, something like that. Then there is Summer of Bitcoin. If people are interested in Web3, starting in Web3 in blockchain space, they can apply to Summer of Bitcoin. It runs at the same time on Google Summer of Code. The Summer of Bitcoin also pays you $3,000, $4,000 for 3 months of work. Similar kind of thing with Google Summer of Code, but for Web3. Then there is ETH Fellowship, Polygon, Cello, other kind of fellowship. MLH Fellowship, it's also a great open source programs. There are different kind of tracks, so do definitely apply to MLH as well. GitHub Externship. GitHub Externship is actually an internship kind of open source program. So it's actually a good way to get long-term internships as well and get full-time jobs as well. So I actually participated. I had got a full-time offer from the GitHub externship program as well, but I choose some other organization. So and then there are many programs as well. So this was all about today's session. So I would love to see your questions or whatever the doubts you have, and happy to answer them. So I would be going through the chat, or maybe if somebody wants to talk, he can just raise the hands and maybe unmute and ask the question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mohit Bhat, for such an enlightening session. We will now open the floor for a Q&A session. If you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand and clarify your doubts.
I can see few questions. How can we know that an organization has no contributors for any project? So for this, what you have to do is like go into the channel, Slack channel, or the whatever the channel they have. So when I participated in GSoC, so I went into the Postgres channel. It was a Slack channel only. So when I went into Postgres channel and GSoC, I saw no one participating there. Although I didn't apply to it, but I saw no one contributing to it. Only one person was talking there, one or two person. That's it. Because that was a hard project actually. It was related to database management and everything. So you have to analyze like this. If you go into the Rocket chat, uh, uh, this their chat platform, you will see hundred of people talking there. You can just go now and see, and in that way you can analyze, okay, 100 people are there, so many people are asking questions and everything. Here only 2 people, 3 people are there. So that is a good way to get to the number of contributions. How to know organization with low contributors? I think I have already answered. We will be having doubts. Okay. What is the preferred workflow for contributing to the project during GSoC, and how do you manage code reviews and feedback? Okay, so the preferred workflow, the workflow is not any specific. What you have to do is basically, as I said, find the project GitHub. Okay, the organization's GitHub. So when I just, if I have shown you here, I just went into, I found out, okay, this is one of the projects of AIOIC org. So I will just first try to, what I will do, like if I was in place of you, I will just try to clone this repo and try to run this project, read the readme. Okay, how, what it does, how it is work. Okay, here is gossip protocol, here it is this thing and that thing. There would be some more details, everything they have explained. Okay, Now what you will do, like, okay, I understood the project, I was able to run it, try to run it. It will take some time. Once you are done with that, go on to the issues. Okay, there are three issues, can I solve them? But maybe like when you were running the project, you found out some two or three other kind of issues. So may you, what you can do is you can just raise that issue here, and then what you can do, you can fix it and make a PR mentioning that issue, that I have solved this thing. And mostly these organizations have a PR template. I'm not sure whether there is a PR template for this thing, but uh, there would, many organizations have a PR template. Like my organization has a PR template where you have to explain description, testing, what were the test results, and everything. So you just have to make the PR explain what you did, and that's it. Then somebody will come. Okay, there would be people, so you can see people have um written here like this. I think this is one of the mentor or someone, I'm not sure. So he just commented out, please follow the contribution guidelines. So okay, uh, this repository has contribution guidelines as well. So you can see they have mentioned everything, like our organization have this as well, like how you have to contribute. So fork the repository, make your changes, commit your changes, push. So they have explained this. So you have to follow these guidelines. And you can see this person 2 weeks ago, I think this person wants to participate in GSoC. So that's why I think he has contributed 2 weeks ago. So you can see he just solved an issue here. This is a live good example, I think. So this person has solved this issue. He has explained what he has done. Okay. And this person of course has said, please follow the guidelines. And once they like, he makes the changes and everything, what they will do, they will merge it. So you can see review is required. So these people will basically review, and once it is done, your contribution is accepted, and that will count as one contribution. And you should mention this PR then in your proposal under a tagline of my contributions to AYICC Orch. So maybe you have contributed to this project or some 4 or 5 projects, that's fine. You can contribute across multiple projects, but it is better to contribute to the project that you want to participate in GSoC. But you can contribute to set number of projects, and you just have to mention that. I think I have answered that question. So uh, if you have more doubts, please let me know. Is that real ML project selects only research students in GSoC and TAN? No, that's not true. There is nothing called as Tier 1 college. A lot of these organizations are international organizations as well. Okay, so they don't know which college is good and um, where. Okay, so we don't see college a lot. We just, as I said, I have already talked about this thing. We first see your proposal, we then see your contributions, we then see your POC. If there is a tie or we are confused between students, then we see your work experience. And then if again a tie is there, we will think about your college or CGPA and all of those things. But most of the three things are like first three things. So, and this is not like research students. I have seen mostly all like BTech students or other like IT students or whatever EC students getting into the AI projects. So you have to build agents, you have to build new models and everything. But you should be just good with the ML models and stuff. It should not be like you just know pandas and everything. It should be, you should know like how the uh, neural network works and all of those things. And whatever the project they want you to build, you have to explain in detail how you build that neural network and everything. What is the minimum knowledge you should know for applying to any kind of web dev based or AI based projects? So AI project I already like talked about. You should know some, that is what is needed in ML and AI. So nowadays, if you have heard about AI agents, so for that you probably don't need LLM knowledge, large language model knowledge, or neural networks. For that, you just need some framework knowledge, maybe LangChain or some other kind of frameworks, AI SDKs, and all of those things. It depends. See, you have to go on to the project page and see what are the required knowledge there. Okay, but for I would say normally, like for web dev and AI or anything, it just you should know. Like let's say if you want to apply it to a backend project, let's say you have to build a server which is very fast and do this. You should know like how to do that in JavaScript, how to do that in Node.js, how to make a good backend server, what are the crucial things needed there. It should not be like you have just watched a YouTube video of Node.js and you are saying I will apply to GSoC. I think that might not be a good thing. Okay, you should have at least built 2 3 projects in that field, maybe small level projects itself or everything, but you should know just the normal basic or medium things about that thing. Okay, it should not be like you have to go in depth. You will go in depth based on what that project requirement is, what that project needs. So let's say if somebody is like very good with JavaScript, uh, so this Rocket Chat organization have all the code in Rocket in JavaScript and some another framework called as Meteor or something. So you just have to learn the Meteor. But you are very good with JavaScript. You know how TypeScript works. You know how async await works. How promises works. You know the language nicely. Now you can easily just in 1 week you can learn the new framework, which is the Meteor JS, and start contributing to it. But if you don't know what the async await is, what are the promises is, what the JavaScript language is, sorry, that is not something you can apply to. I hope I have answered that thing. Sir, I'm in second year currently. I have basic knowledge in front end technology in web development like HTML, CSS. Okay. So you are in second year and you have basic knowledge in front end. And I would suggest you have 1 month's time till the organizations are announced. So I would suggest you what you do. You just a lot of projects are on React nowadays, React and Next.js. You already know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So I would suggest for within next 1 month, and I think 1 month is fine if you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Learn React. Okay. Go on, maybe go on Udemy or go on YouTube. A lot of courses are there. Just learn very quickly. Okay. And once you are done, try to build one project. I think 1 month should be sufficient time to do this. And once you are done with that, then you can apply to the React projects. You might find core HTML, CSS, JavaScript project as well, but most of the organizations have React based projects. Okay, or if you are not interested in front end, just learn Node.js. It's actually easier. So learn Node.js, and that will be like something from the backend aspect you can create. So it's just like you have 1 month to learn this new stuff. Yeah. I had applied for Project Mission GSoC 2024 and they had almost zero unresolved issues. What are the other ways I can contribute to repo by making it impactful? I didn't understand they had almost zero unresolved issues. So if you are saying that, okay, they have almost zero unsolved issues. Okay, they do not have any issues. So that is fine. I mean, you will not always find issues on these GitHub repos. Okay. And you probably have to create new issues. There would be issues. Every software has a bugs. Okay. You just have to find them. Or it's not always about bugs as well. You can just improve the project. So let's say you can create a PR which basically improves the code. You refactor the code. You maybe add an additional feature to it, like something new thing to it. Okay, so it's not always about issues. You just add new things, maybe improve something, improve code, maybe build a class, maybe make things faster, maybe make some algorithm that they are using in their faster. So that is how you have to contribute, not always to find issues. Is ChatGPT not allowed at all when working on project? A small doses of it is allowed. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is like, of course, you can use it for help. I mean, uh, no one would be like seeing you on what you are doing basically. Uh, you can use ChatGPT, but I mean, it should not be like totally ChatGPT generated or your code is ChatGPT generated. People get to know that, okay, from what kind of things are written, what are the logic that is written there. So of course use it for your help. Maybe if you are not able to understand something, use it for it. Maybe improve some lines in your proposal. That's totally fine. But do not tell ChatGPT, please write me a proposal and improve the whole proposal. Sorry, that they will like that actually like people know, and a lot of organizations have like this checking of chat gpt kind of tools on the proposals also. So don't do that, yeah, but of course take help of it. How many contributors will you select in your upcoming mentorship, and what if we fail? Do we have a chance in fourth year? Oh, what if we fail? Okay, so my organization usually selects 10 to 11, 12 people, but of course it depends upon how many Google assigns it. But it's like 5 to 10 people. And if you fail, not an issue. Of course, you can apply in fourth year as well. I would say definitely apply and try it. Sometimes you feel you are not able to get in, but you get selected. So, and you have always chance to apply. You can apply in fourth year as well. Even when you are passing out as well, you can apply to the GSoC in the fourth year. I applied in third year, and that was the case. Yeah. Does personal projects play important role for GSoC or only open source? No, personal projects also plays important role. So if you don't have an open source contributions, you will put what kind of work you have done previously. Maybe you have participated in hackathons, you have built cool research projects. Maybe you have done some research with your faculty, or maybe you have done some internships. Anything like it's same as kind of resume. So you just have to mention that in a very short at the end in your proposal. So just mention like what you have done, what is your experience. We want to know you better. So the same way when a company selects a student, they see why we should select this person, why what are the things, what are the qualities this student has. So that is what we also want, and we want like a belief that you will complete the program uh, for 3 months and you will contribute with your full focus. So for that we need trust, and that trust comes from your past experience, maybe in form of open source contributions, maybe in form of proposal, maybe in form of your like college level projects or internships or whatever the things are. Can we contribute in GSoC with a specific programming language, or no, we need to learn domain for contribution? No, sometimes only the programming language projects are also there. Okay, so let's say Python organization is there. It's a sub organization, but Python organization is there, which works on building new libraries and contributing to the Python compiler and everything. And similarly, like JS things are also there. So if you just know programming language, just search for those kind of projects which are just language based. But if you want to contribute to the domain like Web3 or AI or web development, of course, language is just a tool to write the code. So you can apply to them as well. So both of them are there. Sir, you mentioned that in India, students take it as a competition. So are there a huge amount of applicants that apply in popular projects? I mean, the international students are like uh, do not like the amount of Indians that get into the GSoC. So I would say out of 1200 students or 1300 students, 1000 are Indians only. and it's a global project. It's a global program, but it's like mostly the Indians have hijacked it. So uh, uh, it's not, of course competition is always there, but you can also think like the Indian actually overpowers the international ones. So you can be also one of them. So that's the case, yeah. Sir, I have a question not related to GSoC but rather Android open source project. I usually compile USB for my device and do open source contributions in that domain. Is it considered a big project when it comes to mentioning projects in resume? Yes, of course. I usually compile USB for my device and do open source contributions in that domain. Yeah, any type of, if you are contributing to Android directly or USB directly or all of those things, it's a great thing to mention in your resume. Maybe like expand your domain, expand to more core libraries of Android or related things, iOS things. And I think this is actually one of the best thing to mention in resume. It will have a great impact. So are there any pre-placement opportunities post GSoC? I mean, when you participate in GSoC, the Google puts your name in their uh, like in the list for like giving an advantage, a preferred list. They have a preferred list, and they say this to you as well when you apply and get selected, that we have put your name into the in our system as a preferred candidate. So if you apply to the Google, you of course get uh, an edge over resume selection. And then of course, like if you just share your work on LinkedIn or things, many companies will reach out to you for placement opportunities. But you can apply to Google as well. But of course, for Google you need to do some DSA as well. GSoC will be an added advantage, but they look for DSA as well. Also, is it possible you have an example where you had contributed an open source project and what feature you had implemented or bug you had fixed? Yeah, you can just go on to the my GitHub uh, profile. So recently I was contributing to one of the open source project which is not in GSoC or any other place, but uh, it's an AI domain. So you will see, let's say I contributed to Eliza. So let me show you one of the contributions that I did for an open source AI agent project. Um, so yeah, I just, you can see I just fixed this 3 weeks ago in an open source thing. No one asked me to contribute to this. I'm not getting paid for it, but I just did because I was using this repo and I found out this issue in the code base, and I just wrote everything how I have solved, what are the testing steps and everything. So this is like one of the uh, contributions. I have contributed a lot of PRs on this repo, so you will find out that, and you can just go on my GitHub and just check it out. uh Sir, does resolving good first issues impress the organizer, or do they accept to solve more complex? Yeah, yeah, good first issues are like a very good problems for them. It just, they have given a tag to it to tell you that you can start from here. There can be some issues which are very hard to tackle, and if you are a very new person to the repo, if you start solving it, it might take you 1 week. But if you first solve this one, you might get a good head start. So that's why they tag, okay, these are like a bit easy to understand and easy to start, and they are like good contribution. It is not like the level decreases, like this is a bad one or this is a low level one. No, it just to tell the contributors that if you are new, please start with these issues. If you are old, start with the other issues. Sir, for core cybersecurity student, the GSoC very beneficial. Nowhere is there a huge demand in cybersecurity related projects. Yes, of course, there are cybersecurity projects as well. There is one organization called as OWASP, which is a security related organization, as I remember. If I just search here, I think, if I'm not wrong, yeah, you can see the hackable network management system. So this is, I think, one of the uh, organizations. Similarly, there are many like cybersecurity one. Security, you can search like this, so you can see here it is. There are many other as well in other projects. So these are the specific organizations which are into security, but other organizations have also the security projects. Oh yeah, you can see these many are there and some other as well. So of course, it has a great prospect, and you will actually hear like very. We also have actually the security projects. So if you apply to these kind of organization here, there is like very core kind of things, very core cybersecurity things. So you will learn a lot. So definitely apply if you are into cybersecurity domain. And yes, of course, cybersecurity will remain in the industry forever. It is actually growing, and we always need cybersecurity people. If you are into Web3, you will earn a lot. So in Web3, there is something called as solidity auditors, who basically audit, I mean, find the bugs in smart contracts, and they get paid huge, like 1 crore, 2 crore amount of money. So the domain is very nice. Maybe try Web3 cybersecurity as well. So yeah. It would be great, glad if you please share your first proposal for GSoC. Sorry, I would not share the proposal for GSoC. Okay, uh, I get a lot, but I have seen like I once had shared that, and they just copied it completely. And we want, and we have like guidelines that we should not share the proposals. So, but there are many organizations or on internet, a lot of people have shared the proposals, and you can probably like uh, find out them and see them. But I would suggest like don't copy it. Sometimes what happens, like when you see somebody's proposals, I didn't see anyone's proposal. When you see somebody's proposal, then it just affects the uniqueness of your own proposal. Maybe you would have be, you might write like very nicely the things and mention the things very nicely, but you saw he has mentioned like this and this, it just hampered your proposal. So bring uniqueness. Sometimes that uniqueness helps you to get selected. But the thing is, if you need a template from where to start, all of these GSoC organizations, in fact, we also have. If you go on C2SI, so you will see proposal template here. If you click on this, you will find that proposal template. So I saw this only when I was participating, and I just didn't match the same thing. I just added some more things to this proposal, but this is a good head start. And every organization have this proposal template. And if you are not able to find it, ask them on their chat channel. How to communicate and become better at networking for GSoC? Um, yeah, it's just like join the channel and just ask good questions. The only thing is, don't be a person who irritates the community. What happens with me and a lot of uh, these of organizations mentor is that I said you like please communicate and network and all of those things. Maybe some YouTube channel will say you please communicate, talk to your mentor, and some person will also say these kind of things. And then what student does is like out of nowhere he will just message the mentors of those organizations that how to start contributing. Okay, they will start messaging them some any kind of questions like how to start contributing, how to like solve this issue. These kind of things actually irritate the mentors and the project admin. This is not the way you have to communicate. I didn't communicate much at my time because I didn't need that. So communication, if I'm saying you to communicate to mentor and everything, maybe just when you are done with the proposal, ask for a review. Okay, that is some communication. And if you are really stuck at some place while contributing, you are not able to understand something, how to run this project or something, then ask it. Do not ask any kind of questions just for the sake of communicating with the mentor. And this happens a lot. People just ask like how to start contributing to the GSoC, and the reply that you will get is there are a lot of articles on the internet, a lot of videos that can tell you how to start. So this is not a valid question, this is not a valid way of communication. Ask real questions. So let's say you were not able to, maybe you have an idea of like increasing the speed of the database or something. So just ask, can we have the database with this algorithm, can we improve this with this type of code, what do you think about this architecture? So such kind of questions is like how you communicate, and we really like that you are bringing some good valuable knowledge to the community, and maybe you can help others. That is also a great way to network and communicate. Like some people would be contributing, so help them. They may ask questions, so help them. Okay, you can solve that thing with this thing. You can solve this with this flow. Maybe help them to debug issues. This kind of things we really like. If you help others, other new people, uh, and that is how you should communicate. And of course, once you get into the GSoC and when you are contributing, you will automatically network with others because you have to talk to them, and that is how the things go. I initially have low grades, but I'm working more on my skills and I have improved a lot. I worked on my coding skills, especially on Python, as I am AIM student. Oh, okay, AIML student. With the grades will stop me from getting selected. No, don't mention the grades. Don't mention. We don't get to know what your grade is. Just make a great proposal. As I said, if you have good things, mention that. Rest of the things are on your proposal and on your contributions. If you have contributed nicely, you have a great proposal. Who will stop you? Nobody will stop you from getting selected. Since cybersecurity projects often involve strict security policies and compliance, how can a beta student contribute effectively to open source security projects for GSoC? Are there any beginner-friendly security tools or frameworks you would recommend? I mean, see, sometimes these projects in GSoC are like tools itself. Okay, so OWASP is a tool. Then there are some other tools, some other organizations which are building some security tools for network security, uh, for website security and everything. So you are contributing to the tools. Okay, and there you don't need any compliance or policies and everything. Of course, you have to follow the guidelines of the organization to contribute and everything. So that is how it works. So, and a lot of BTech students actually like contribute to it, and they are doing a great job. Actually, you can also do that. Are there any other mistakes applicants make during GSoC other than bluffing, using too much ChatGPT, diving headfirst into a project without knowing much, bad proposals? Yeah, bad proposals I think covers a lot of things like yeah, bluffing, ChatGPT thing, and bad proposals, as I have already told, like uh, no code mentioned. I mean, just using libraries, upper level kind of things. I think you understood that. Just high level things being mentioned in the proposals. The other thing I have seen, as I have already told about, like the timeline. Mention the timeline correctly, because that makes a lot of impact. If your timeline is very bad, then we get to know, okay, this person doesn't know the things completely. Because if you are just bluffing and if you are talking on high level terms, you will not know how much time actually that thing will need. So let's say we said you that you have to create a blockchain and you have to create a gossip protocol. So if you write gossip protocol will be done in 1 week, but we will know like gossip protocol cannot be done in 1 week. It is like a big aspect of it. So then if you have mentioned 1 week and another person had mentioned 3 weeks, so we know it will have, of course, take 3 weeks. So that is something that you have to look out. Also, you have to mention beforehand if you are taking any leaves during the GSoC period. So we ask this question like, will you be interning at some other organization, or if you have any planned uh, uh, vacations during the period, so mention that thing. Because if you don't mention that, like, I'm not going on vacation, I'm available for 3 months, and then when you get into the GSoC and you are going on to the vacation, you get failed because you are not contributing. You have to contribute every week. And if you're not contributing every week, mention that in proposal that from 1st May to 15th May I will not be available, but I will be covering the work that I will be doing in those 15 days in like before first week and second week, and I have organized my timeline like that. So these are all the crucial things that you need to take care of. How many hours do we have to dedicate to GSoC if we get selected? Is it easy to manage the work with college academics? Yes, of course. I think most of the colleges have leaves. I mean, the vacations at that time. But if it is not, I mean, 6 hours, 5 hours of work is, of course, they ask for 40 hours of work a week, but you have Saturdays and Sundays as well where you can work on. So you just have to put your timeline accordingly. So if you have a college and that thing also, mention that and just uh, do that much of work only which is possible in a week's time, including your Saturday and Sunday. And that is like how you have to manage. So let's say there is a person who doesn't have college during those time, and there is a person who has a college during that time. So that person will say, okay, I will complete let's say 2 modules in 1 week. You just have to say that I will complete only one module because you had academics as well. So that is how uh, it all works. Mention the real timelines that is possible. I want to contribute to ML projects. Any suggestions for that, sir? ML are a lot. If you just artificial intelligence, there is a lot of projects. We also have a lot of projects. Okay, so I mean, you don't have to bother about that. Suggestions, I can't give suggestions. I mean, it depends upon you. As I said, don't take any suggestion from anyone about the project. Go through all the projects and see which project you like. You should also like that project, okay? Otherwise you will not be able to work on that project. So don't take anybody's suggestion, just go through the project. It will take some time and you are done. I want to okay. Personally, what is your opinion on courses on sites like Udemy, Coursera, etc., on platforms like YouTube, Telegram, where a lot of people teach based on how they compare? Like, certification doesn't matter much. Okay, so if you ask me the quality of these websites, I would say the quality is good. Okay, of course, not all the courses and all the YouTube videos are great. I have learned a lot of things from the YouTube. I have learned from Udemy as well. Udemy has a very good projects on Node.js. There is one course called as Advanced Node.js, and it teaches you how Node.js works under the hood. Okay, how it works behind the scenes. So it's a great uh, course there, and it is like 300, 400 rupees. Just refresh the page again and again on Udemy, and you will get it for 300, 400 rupees. So Udemy has a great courses. YouTube has a lot of great courses. A lot of channels are there. I mean, I would not say like anyone is bad. It just whatever you like. Uh, I like few of the channels. I have learned Web3 from there. But I would say, like, if you are a very first year student, second year student, you don't have much to show, right? You don't have any internship or something to show to the world. It is good that you take a Udemy or these kind of course to get the certification as well, because when you are just starting and you are just a new person or a new person in the field, it is great, like it is great that you have those certifications so that you get the internship or the GSoC. So let's say you don't have any past experience, you don't have any internship, you have no open source contribution, but you are very good with Node.js. But how will I know? So what you can do is, like, maybe do a Node.js certification, okay, and then we will believe, okay, he has done a certification. I mean, it's not necessary. If you have a lot of projects in your resume, no need. But if you don't have that, maybe certification is great. If you are getting it at cheaper cost, go get it. What's the wrong in that? It just tells people that you have done that particular kind of stuff. So but free is also fine, so it's good. As an ACM team, why, what ideas do you want give us to conduct open source events, workshops which can help students actually be industry ready? So I would suggest you to create like a good, nice open source program where maybe your college students or inter college students uh, basically uh, create new projects, open source projects. They, like, you take a form where, like, they put their own projects that they didn't able to complete within time, or they have stopped because of XYZ reason, or maybe bring some organizations across the globe and ask your students or like the students across all the colleges to contribute. Create your own open source program, and maybe create open source program in specific fields. Not a lot of people are doing that. Create open source programs in like AIML specifically, or maybe 1 month of AIML, or 1 month of Web3 blockchain. And of course, create more sessions like these for the students, like where they understand about summer of Bitcoin, maybe outreachy, many other kind of programs. So these kind of things I think really help. And I think maybe try to bring some sponsors and do a 1 month of open source coding, a competition where people have to raise quality PRs or quality things in the projects that have been listed, and you give a prize money to top three, or maybe some other things to other people. I think this is a great way to build uh, uh, the nature, and I would say uh, an idea of open source thing in your college. So yeah. Can I write my proposal like a blog which can make it attractive? Is it allowed? Blog, I mean, you can do, I mean, first follow the template they have, whatever they have mentioned. But of course you can create a blog like thing, but ultimately you have to submit a PDF. So you have to export that into the PDF. I mean, you cannot submit a blog link. You have to create a PDF and submit it on GSoC website. You don't have to submit it to the organization. Please understand. Maybe I miss telling this. You don't have to send the proposal to the organization. On the GSoC website, you have to create an account, and on that, you have to basically upload your proposal, and then it reaches to the organization from the Google side. So you can create in any form, but of course at the end it's a PDF. I hope that was the last question. And anyone else have any other kind of question? If you want to do a one-to-one call with me, if you have some any other ideas or something, you can connect with me. Or I would actually suggest more of, like, if you want to schedule a call, this is my top meet link. And if you want, I think there are some I have put like money there because I get spam calls a lot. People don't show up. So if you want a free session, just tweet about what you have learned out of this session, share your knowledge with other people, and just then DM me for a coupon code. It will be free for you to one-to-one call. But of course, I am available on LinkedIn and other platforms as well, Twitter and things. So, but I would be slow on that. So uh, you can reach out to me at any time. Just like it is resume scanning, does GSoC also use AI tools? No, we don't use any AI tools in that. We go through each proposal line by line. There are many mentors, and a group of mentors are assigned each project, and they see through the proposals. Any other questions? I think that's it for now then.
I hope all of you found this session as insightful and thought provoking as I did. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Mohit Bhat sir for sharing his knowledge and expertise with us today. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to Principal of RAIT, Dr. Mukesh Patil, and heads of CSE and IT department, Dr. Sangeeta Chaudhary and Dr. Pallavi Chavanwan, for their continuous support and encouragement. Thank you to all the students and attendees for active participation. We hope to see you at our future events. Until then, stay curious, stay innovative, and keep learning.
Thank you, everyone. It was really great to talk to you all, and thank you for all the questions. Like, I really like the interactiveness of the session. Thank you.
Participants, please fill the feedback form in the chat.